Hello, hello, and welcome back to Breakdown with Hansen and Brown. I am, of course, David Hansen, and back from a one-week hiatus where he ate some turkey and ham and all the other good Thanksgiving stuffings. It's the immaculate Joe Brown.
I did not eat turkey and ham. I'm vegetarian.
I forgot. Does that make me a bad friend that if you forget someone's a In my defense, you're very recently vegetarian.
That's true.
Very recently.
Also, in my defense, Thanksgiving turkey is not really that good.
Then you're not making it right, Joe. Because my Thanksgiving turkey, if my dad is out there, was fire this year.
Well, I feel like the things that make Thanksgiving turkey good are like not the turkey part. Like you either put it in gravy or you've got like the skin on it. But, like, the meat itself has no flavor. Like, how often do you eat turkey outside of Thanksgiving?
Well, then you're not seasoning it right. Barbecue.
I had a Cajun turkey
Cajun?
at my Thanksgiving.
Oh, very New Orleans
Who
of
eats
you.
barbecue turkey?
Well, it's not barbecue, it's Cajun. And my cousin just got married, and she got married to someone who is from New Orleans. And so he came and brought a Cajun turkey.
Wow.
It was good.
Alternatively, just use chicken.
Hey, really quickly, if you're wondering who that third voice is, it's our special guest.
A ghost.
It's our special guest, a ghost. It's our special guest, the incredible Erin Lee.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm honored to be here.
I'm your biggest fan. All right, that's our studio audience out there.
Hey, guys. Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for making it out.
They're all here because Erin Lee is here. Erin Lee, a freshman at the University of Illinois and a longtime friend of ours from high school, middle school, and beyond. She's here. She's currently a lyric theater major, but she will be soon switching.
We could say that.
She is switching her major. And, she's pretty involved at the University of Illinois.
Sure
So, thank you for joining us today, Erin.
I am honored to be here.
We're honored to have you. We're honored to be in the presence of the great Erin Lee.
Oh, stop.
Okay, I will. Before we go further, I have a quick disclaimer to read. You're listening to PizzaFM, freeform, non-commercial college radio, broadcasted in partnership with Unit 1 Living Learning Communities at the University of Illinois. The views expressed by individuals on PizzaFM are not necessarily those of Unit 1 or PizzaFM as a whole. PizzaFM is made possible through the generous support of SORF, the 1867 Society, CRFB, and listeners like you. Joe, I saw you turn your head immediately when I started reading that. Were you looking to see if I screwed up any words again?
No, I was mouthing the words along with you.
Oh.
Like the world's lamest lip sync battle.
All right, now that our disclaimer's out of the way, we can get started with the show. And what a show we have in store. I mean, I don't know what we have in store. We're just going to talk.
We're just going to roll with it.
That's kind of how this show works now.
Sure. Okay, I'm so concerned about this one microphone stand falling off. Can you guys see this? It's like...
For those of you who can't see this, because the only people in this room are Joe, Erin, and I,
And
our
studio audience.
live studio audience, these microphones are on stands that are clamped to the desks, and one of the clamps is so bent out of shape that it looks like it might just fall.
It's how the professionals do it, though. So.
Yeah, the professionals. Actually, I went to buy a laptop stand the other day.
Yeah.
That was the same system as this. It clamps to the side of the desk and then like holds your laptop up higher because I have bad posture. And you could buy it. It was $40 and then an extra $123 if you wanted professional installation.
What?
To put a clamp on the edge of a desk and twist the little knob until it tightens.
What website are you on?
Amazon.
Amazon's going to come and give you a personal installation?
Yeah, Amazon offers that?
$123 to just clamp a little bar onto my desk.
Will Amazon never stop finding ways to charge you extra money?
Huh.
Have you seen those Amazon stores that are specifically for celebrities?
Wait.
What?
Yes.
They're ridiculous. You go on like Jeremy Renner's and it's like,
That's the one I was thinking of.
It's like, here's a fishing rod or here's like the hunting vest. I don't know exactly what's on there, but it's all like, I'm manly because I'm Jeremy Renner. But I bet he has like never used any of those products.
Wait,
Probably
Jeremy
not.
Renner? You know Jeremy Renner used to be like a makeup artist, right?
Really?
You mean Jeremy Renner, the actor?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
actor who plays Hawkeye?
Yeah, he used to be a makeup artist.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Why is he getting painted as some manly man?
Because that's Jeremy Renner No.
People change.
Oh, hey, we have a call-in from, that's my ringtone if you're hearing it. Not a call-in, a text-in from a friend of ours who says, stop talking about Amazon. Boo.
Oh.
I mean, I hate Amazon as much as the next guy, but you got to make fun of them, you know?
You know what? Anonymous listener, who I'm not going to name on radio, but name rhymes with Evie Nudera. If you're going to criticize the show, why don't you just come on it, okay? And then we can talk about whatever you want. But for right now, we're talking about Amazon.
And we can talk about The Office.
Yeah. The Office. Oh, why would I talk about The Office? Yuck.
Yeah, I mean...
Gross.
Talk about obscurity. They're about to get removed from Netflix because nobody watches it anymore.
Okay, I have to interject and say that I am trying to watch The Office before they take it off Netflix.
Yeah?
I think I'm on season 7 right now, and it is, like, really my first time ever watching it. Like, I don't know what happens. Like,
yeah.
It's been exciting. It's
do
been
you
an
like,
exciting process.
What do you think of the show?
Personally,
as a first-time viewer.
I love it. But the reason why is because I'm not the type of person that, like, wants to, like, really sit down and, like, engage a bunch of time and get like super wrapped up into a plot just because like right now I don't really have the time for that. So the fact that I can just like sit down, watch a 20-minute episode where, you know, it's just something funny, you're not too wrapped up in a plot, like it's been great.
I like The Office, but I could never rewatch it as much as some people do.
Personally, I watched most of The Office. My problem with The Office just became that in my opinion, the parts of it that are really, really great make up this small portion of the actual show. Like, if you were to watch a compilation of The Office's greatest moments, there is some pure comedy. It's some amazing television there.
Pure comedy.
But the actual show itself,
tainted comedy.
Like, a 20-minute episode of The Office is going to have, like, 30 seconds to 1 minute of that Dwight Schrute lighting a fire in the office moment.
Oh, my gosh.
Or of that scene with Dwight and Jim on a fake phone call where Jim tells Dwight that he's a buyer named Bill Buttlicker. Like, those moments are amazing, but they happen so infrequently that you have to get through this, like, long drudgery of just kind of...
But in a way, it's still good that, like, the episodes are only 20 minutes, so it's like you can sit down and watch a couple of them, and then you're still getting that satisfaction. But, like, I do agree with that. With sometimes I just kind of, like, watch an episode, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, on to the next one.
I mean, even if it's not constantly laugh out loud, it's still pretty entertaining.
It's entertaining. Because you fall in love with the characters.
Yeah. It's just, I couldn't watch it over and over again, but there's not a lot of shows I could watch over and over again.
I'm not like that with books or movies. Like, I don't really reread, rewatch. Like, once I see it, I'm usually good.
What else was I going to say about The Office? Unpopular opinion, I won't miss it that much when it's off of Netflix. I know a lot of people will, but like The Office and Friends, I watch it so infrequently that I'm like, okay, it's gone. All right, I'll just watch BoJack Horseman.
Is this just the stepping on Evie's toes segment?
Yeah, well, if she's going to call in and criticize, then I'm going to be...
me in a second.
All right, we have another texter whose name rhymes with Owen DeGrace who says, keep talking about Amazon.
Oh, let me tell you about Amazon.
So back to Amazon.
Amazon is a terrible company because it's too good of a company. No, Amazon is the new age version of Cornelius Vanderbilt's company. You know who Vanderbilt was?
I do.
Vanderbilt was once the wealthiest person around. I visited his estate.
On this side of the Mississippi.
I was forced to visit his estate on vacation this summer because one of my grandmother's dreams was to go to the Biltmore estate, which, if you don't know, is the largest privately owned house in the United States.
Interesting.
It is absolutely massive. Vanderbilt had so much money that he just blew it on these ridiculous things. And Vanderbilt was also in the shipping business. He owned a bunch of ships. He owned systems that allowed people to send things around the world, as Jeff Bezos now does. And he made a ridiculous amount of money. So much money, in fact, that his family is still spending it to this day.
Really?
And he spent a lot of that money. Like,
To
give you perspective, if you walk on the back porch of the Biltmore estate, you look out onto a valley of trees, like this big forest. And I found out while I was there that Vanderbilt had all of those trees planted after he started building the house. Literally thousands of trees that apparently one gardener planted.
One gardener.
That poor gardener.
Yeah.
That's so much work.
Have you seen that thing on YouTube that a bunch of people who make videos on YouTube, I guess YouTubers would have been the easier way to say that, where they're trying to plant like 20 million?
Trees. I donated $35 to that.
Way to go, man. I donated $5, so you're better than me. Team trees, baby. What it do, baby?
Did you see Elon Musk donated $1 million?
Yes.
And then some random person donated $1,000,001 to take his top spot.
Not just some random person, another CEO of a very big company.
Oh, I didn't know who it was.
I looked him up and I looked up what company it was, and it was so insignificant to me that I both forgot his name and what company he represented.
That is fun. I'll look it up.
I can't believe, knowing like everything I've seen of Elon Musk, I can't believe he immediately didn't donate 2 more trees.
Yeah.
Like just to top.
Yeah.
That would have been fun to watch them constantly battle.
Interesting.
Evie texted in to tell Owen to shut up, which I won't. And then Owen texted in to say, talk about the new Tesla truck, which I also won't.
Okay, I will
Joe
talk
will.
about the new Tesla truck because there's something that people fundamentally don't understand about the Tesla truck. So everyone's making fun of the design of the Tesla truck.
Yeah, it looks
because
like it
it's
was
very-
unpolished, literally.
looks
like
like
no one like...
Legos.
But if you
knocked
do
out the grooves.
20 minutes of research, which no one's willing to do, there's a very good reason why it's designed that way.
Why is that, Joe?
The whole truck is designed to be super powerful and super fortified. The steel is a special shatterproof steel that Elon Musk over at Tesla, they've been developing for a while.
Yeah.
And the steel that makes the outside of the truck is a special kind of fortified steel that cannot be bent. So because they can't bend it, they made do with just cutting it in straight lines and tried to make as ergonomic a design as possible. But not only can this truck pull a Ford F-150 backwards and uphill, the glass is completely shatterproof, and you can just take a sledgehammer to the sides of it, and it won't even dent because the steel is so strong.
This episode of Breakdown with Hansen and Brown is sponsored by Tesla Trucks.
You
Tesla
betcha.
Trucks.
I
I know
love
it
you,
looks like a
Elon.
bunch of boxes, but we promise it makes sense.
I love you, Elon. Please sponsor my show.
If Elon sponsored us, which would never happen, because I think our current listeners include Evie, Owen, and Aaron's parent or Aaron's dad.
My dad.
That's not true. I paid 20 people in Bangladesh.
Oh.
Bangladesh?
Yeah.
Wow, we have international viewers now. That's huge.
Yeah, apparently they're like 20 cents a view.
Oh, and of course our live studio audience is listening.
Yes. We see you guys out there.
And our sound guy is also listening, but he doesn't really count. We don't like our sound guy
Yeah,
that
you know,
much.
and our producer and our interns, they're here.
Yeah. By the
Our
way,
interns better not be here. I
one-
ordered
one
coffee.
Chai tea latte, please. Stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better run.
Got him.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Hey, let's move on and let's talk about stuff that isn't trucks, but more related to a certain person in this room. Erin Lee, you're on the show this week, so
hi there.
you know, since that doesn't happen every week, unlike
it
Joe and
doesn't.
I, who are we're pretty boring people. Erin, you've got some stuff going on in your world here
sure
at the
do.
University of Illinois. What's up with you? What's new?
Man, okay. Well, I guess I could start with my extracurriculars,
Oh, extracurriculars.
which I am involved in Girls Next Door Acapella.
Girls Next Door Acapella. What could that be?
Well, believe it or not, it's an acapella group
Oh,
with girls.
that
I thought it was
explains
a competitive
that explains the
knitting
name.
team.
What'd you say, Joe?
I thought it was a competitive knitting team.
Ah, close, but no cigar.
We do that sometimes.
The only thing they knit
yeah.
together are awesome melodies and harmonies.
And friendship. But anywho, yeah, it's one of the 2 all-female a cappella groups on the campus, and something kind of exciting is we have our 50th coming up. It'll be next year, and so we've been planning a lot for that coming up. We're gonna have a really big concert. We're inviting a lot of alumni. We want to organize a thing where we have like choirs from every decade, basically, that can sing whatever they want to sing. But yeah, we're just working on booking banquet halls and hotels and stuff like that. It's a really exciting time to be in the group.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive, but luckily our group has been putting back money for 5 years now for this 50th anniversary. So.
Since year 45?
Yep.
Wow.
That is math. And so, yeah, we're like prepared and really, really excited. It's definitely, the group is going to become a much bigger commitment next year, but I think all the members are like, bring it on. We're really excited for it.
I think that's pretty wild. You know, you're new into the group, and immediately your next year, your second year of in the group is like this big historic celebration. Like that's a lot to come into.
Yeah, definitely. But it's exciting. Like I said, I feel blessed to be entering the group at such a neat time, and it'll be really interesting too. And we have auditions, both in the middle of this year and next fall. Just taking people into the group, and even next year it'll be freshmen coming into the group, and it'll be the 50th, which it'll
be like welcome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot, but it'll be exciting.
Now, obviously, David and I don't know anything about this, but Erin, what is the audition process for an a cappella group look like? Is it just like in Pitch Perfect, where like one of the groups that's the best gets to name a song and everyone has to sing the same song? Like obviously David and I, we're not familiar with this process at all.
Honestly, I had never heard of acapella before, so this is all new to me.
Oh.
Yeah, so please, pray tell.
Well, yes, let me tell you. Well, no, it's not exactly like that at all. Although I will say it is like Pitch Perfect sometimes. But the audition process, you kind of just get to do you. You go in, pick a song that you want to sing, and you sing it in front of the existing members of the group, or like the current members of the group. And that's about it for the audition process. And then if you get a call back, you'll get a call that evening. And at least in my case and some of my friends' cases, they'll usually want you to sing a contrasting song. Like I auditioned on kind of like a fast, belty sort of song. And then for my callback, they asked me to sing like a slower, pretty, like kind of pop ballad sort of thing.
Yeah.
'Cause they want to make sure that you can sing all sorts of styles. And then the callback process for each individual group is very different, because obviously every group is different. But, I think a lot of things they're looking for as you get towards the end of callbacks are like your blend with the group, how your voice sounds with everybody else, because that's very important with a cappella. You can't have people sticking out in like a background melody kind of thing. And also, at least with the a cappella groups at U of I think there's an aspect of social fit in a way, because, you do like hang out with them, you're rehearsing with them a lot and stuff. So, they want to get to know you. They ask you questions just to make sure that you'd be getting along with all the members and stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to be a likable person.
Debatable. I mean, you do you.
Unless you make a group of all unlikable people.
True.
And then you...
There's an idea
That's
for
how
you,
the
Joe.
extension cords were formed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I nearly forgot about that.
The extension cords.
Yeah, those guys.
That was, if someone in this room was in the extension cords, that would have deeply hurt their feelings. Luckily,
you know
luckily
nothing
I
about
know
that.
Luckily,
nothing.
David
know
knows
that.
nothing about acapella.
As I continue to know nothing about acapella, I would love to hear since now that you are a veteran of acapella,
Oh, yes.
new into the group, I know, or at least if I knew anything about acapella, I would know that GND upcoming is unfortunately losing a lot of people due to graduation and people studying abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I had done my research into acapella, I would know that you guys, you're going to have a decent amount of auditions second semester.
Mm-hmm.
If someone listening in was just wanted to join any a cappella group, whether it be G&D or another one, do you have any like real good advice for auditions that you just normally wouldn't think of off the top of your head, but now that you've been in the group, it's something that's apparent to you? I
would say one thing, especially for these mid-year auditions that a few groups are holding. I know G&D is Girls Next Door. I'm not sure if everybody is, but we really want to hit the ground running with this next semester. So auditions are going to be like the first week back from break. So I would say even for auditions at the beginning of the school year, you really want to be prepping either over winter break or during the summer, because that audition date comes fast. And I know a handful of people who decided to choose just not to audition because they didn't feel prepared. They didn't feel like they had enough time learning their material. So number one thing I would say is, make sure you got a song or two under your belt, especially too for callbacks. That's a 1-day turnaround or a couple day turnaround, 1 or 2 days. And so you got to have some songs in your back pocket that you'll be ready to sing for them.
A couple songs under your belt so that you can sing with a belt.
Oh, yes.
While wearing a belt.
I mean, other than that, I would just say, like, it's important to show who you are as a singer and a performer, to not try to sound like someone who's already in the group or to sound like the singer who's exactly singing your song. Like, personally, I picked an Adele piece for my primary like audition, and my voice is really not an Adele voice. You can probably tell by the way I'm speaking right now, but if you just kind of do you and, show what you got, just be confident. It's not scary at all. All the people auditioning are really kind and they want the best for you. So,
I will say song choice is pretty important if I knew anything about acapella. Song choice, that can make or break your audition.
Yeah.
So definitely put a lot of thought into that. What might excite someone. Don't be afraid to change something, like change the key of something. You can sing something in a different key. They're not going to mark you off.
Because it's acapella.
It's
Yeah,
acapella.
you can change it around.
So, add some variation. Good luck to all you future acapellers out there.
True that.
Joe Brown, you're sitting over there. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing just dandy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Erin's comment that she obviously does not have an Adele voice based on the way she's speaking. But then I thought, have you ever heard Adele speak?
No. It's British, I'm assuming.
She has a very thick Cockney accent.
Man, I haven't really thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
So
I've heard
maybe
her
if you
speak
started
before.
talking with a Cockney
If
accent.
you look up a video of
No,
Adele speaking,
I sound like
she
it.
has like this really rich voice, and then she starts talking. She's like, "Oh, love, it's so great to have you
Hey.
here.
Oi!
I just
I
love
was
the
just rolling
opportunity to come to
in
this
the deep
interview."
the other day.
The views expressed by individuals on Pizza FM are not necessarily.
We're gonna get sued by Adele now because I said
Dang
that.
it. Adele, I'm sorry.
Hey, talking about weird suing, I actually saw this in the news today. Bill Nye, the science guy, is suing Disney because because apparently
Good.
they kind of cheated him out of some of the profits.
Good.
Okay.
Somebody needed to do it.
I mean, that's fair, but
How
man, that
dare
makes
you
my
cheat Bill
childhood
Nye.
self kind of like torn up.
Yeah, right?
How dare you cheat Bill Nye?
Well,
Bill
that's
Nye
true.
is a national
He deserves the
treasure.
world.
Bill Nye is the people's champion.
Yeah.
Americans get so crazy for Bill Nye.
I love Bill Nye.
When Bill Nye started fronting the movement against climate change deniers, I thought the problem would be solved immediately. But it turns out there's this weird subsect of the American public that doesn't like Bill Nye or
How?
didn't watch Bill Nye.
Say it ain't so.
Hand to God, apparently those people exist. And they're like, climate change isn't real. We don't care about this William Sanson guy. And I'm like, I'm sorry. His name is Bill Nye.
Well,
Check yourself.
Well, of course they don't.
First name Bill Nye, second name the science guy. All right, it's that
Get
simple.
it right.
Of course they don't know. They don't believe climate change is real. They never watched the Bill Nye episode on climate
I
change.
mean,
How else would you
obviously.
know about climate
Those
change?
days in like elementary school, middle school, where like the little TV cart was like already in the room when you were sitting in there, like, oh,
And your teacher
What a
was
good
definitely
day.
hungover, so she just
Yeah,
needed a
right.
backup plan.
Right.
She's like,
Bill
Schoolhouse
Nye.
Rock or Bill Nye?
But
Or,
Mr.
The Reading
Golbiowski
Rainbow?
used to play
Reading
Bill
Rainbow.
Nye all the time.
throwback.
Kolbiowski did?
Yeah, Golbiowski played
Hey,
Bill
don't
Nye
call him out like that.
constantly.
Yeah, but he had like a little like daughter, right? She probably kept him up all night, like crying. He had like a
That's
newborn or
true.
something,
Wait,
didn't he?
Golbiowski
Yeah,
definitely
like
did not show
no.
you. He's a high school teacher.
Yeah, no,
He
we
played them
watched-
in class.
Yeah.
He
want me to
never played them in
contact-
class for me.
You want me to contact Golbiowski? We watched multiple.
Right
Bill Nye
now.
films.
Call him up.
I will call Golbiowski and I are tight. All right, he wrote my letter of rec.
Golbiowski, for those of you who don't know, is one of the best teachers at York High School. He
And
teaches chemistry.
And he went to U of I.
And he went to U of I. Another reason why he's
He also
amazing.
coached the speech team at
And he
your high
is
school.
Gross.
the what's it called? The sponsor for the As Is club at York.
Wowie, wow. What a busy man.
An involved man.
What a man.
The reason I said yuck about Speech Team is all three of us are on Speech Team. I don't actually dislike Speech Team. I just really dislike Speech Team.
Speech Team is garbage, and also speech-related social media content is garbage as well.
Coming from promptly Joe Brown, the YouTube channel that produces
speech-related content.
Speech-related content.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see. Erin, sticking on theme with music, you had a little thing you wanted to talk about today.
Oh yeah, let me just
Gonna
pull
bring
it
up
up real fast. It's pretty interesting.
as she's pulling it up to wrap up the Bill Nye conversation. If Bill Nye doesn't win the lawsuit, no one can take down Disney. If Bill Nye can't do it, no one can.
If Bill Nye can't win that lawsuit, Disney has hacked the judiciary system in the United States.
I think this is the second week in a row we're complaining about Disney, but that's okay.
I will continue to complain about Disney.
I love what Disney
and
produces.
Amazon.
I don't love how they produce it.
Tisk, tisk,
But I'm still
tisk,
gonna watch it because I'm a slave for Frozen 2.
I
Let it
Frozen
go.
No,
No, that's
Frozen 2's got terrible music.
Does it really? I haven't seen it.
You watch Frozen 2 for Olaf. Olaf is hysterical.
Wait, have
spoilers.
both of you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I
okay.
have. Frozen 2, I think they were just like, people really love Olaf, and then Josh Gad walked in and he's like, this is what you're gonna do.
Olaf you want, Olaf you get.
So you're gonna listen to me.
If
People want Olaf. And they just let Josh Gad do whatever he wanted.
Listeners, quick poll. If you had to pick one person in this room who you thought only one of us had seen Frozen 2, would Joe have been your last choice?
What?
Because that would have been my last choice.
Actually, same.
First off, the first Frozen was like my obsession.
It's
in
my
middle
favorite
school
Disney
because
movie.
the first time I watched it, I
Yeah.
bootlegged it
I
in
said
8th grade or 7th grade. I bootlegged it because Mike Bindeman had seen it like 3 times and he kept telling me it was good. And I bootlegged it on this website that was like super illegal and it gave me a bunch of viruses. And I watched it 3 times. And the third time I watched it in 1 week was with my little cousins. And I was pulling it up on the TV for everyone to watch it. My mom's like, Joe, you're not bootlegging this, are you? I'm like, no, this is perfectly legit. And then it turns out at the top of this website,
Movie's still in theaters.
the icon was a middle finger. And then it had a very vulgar comment about the police on it.
Oh, I can imagine what that vulgar comment is.
Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, you know what? This probably isn't legal. But Frozen.
But
You
Frozen.
should have just widescreened it. No one would have been able to see that obscene gesture.
Guess that's true.
Whoops.
Oops. Sorry, before we go on to the music, Erin said her favorite Disney movie of all time is Frozen, and I have to humbly disagree.
You know, and I know
Well, you know
a lot
Aaron's
of people
favorite
will.
Disney movie of all time?
What a Joe.
Aaron's.
I'm sorry. I think the best Disney, strictly Disney, not Pixar. Best Disney movie of all time is Lion King.
Which
Changed my mind.
I totally respect that, but I just personally like Frozen better. I like the characters, the music, the animation. It's just,
Okay.
Interesting. Now hear me out. And this one's probably not going to surprise you.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
What?
I'm
No.
kidding.
Do I look like a hunchback to you? Do I
yes.
look like someone with a
The
hunchback?
Bells of Notre Dame.
No, this one might not surprise you. My favorite Disney movie is Big Hero 6.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. Underrated, very
Is
underrated.
that strictly Disney? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Pixar did not do that.
Yep, no, it's Disney.
Good movie.
It is so underrated. I
quality
watched
movie.
it actually
Blah,
fairly
blah, blah, blah.
recently.
And it's about robotics, and I love it.
Oh, nerd.
Computer
Ah,
science.
gave himself a virus. Ha, Joe. The worst at computers. All right, sorry, we've stalled long enough. Erin, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I was just searching the web today.
Oh, were you?
And, I'm sure everyone has seen on social media that those Spotify, year in review.
Oh
kinda
boy, I
things
can't get enough of
came out.
those.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them. And,
I love
and
it.
I'm not going to talk about mine at all. I actually use Apple Music. Sorry about it.
Ooh.
But I kind of got inspired and I decided to look up the top songs of the decade. Because a lot of these people had, their top songs of the decade, but I was thinking, okay, for the United States, what were the
Despacito.
top songs? Despacito's on the list. So I
Wait, actually?
yeah,
What?
Yes, actually.
I
Nailed
really
it.
hope Lily isn't listening
So
to
this is
because
off
it blows your
Billboard,
mind.
and it was the top 100 songs of the decade, and I'm not going to say all 100 of them.
All 100,
Do not
go.
worry. Yeah. But I copied down, I believe, the top 10.
Top 10.
And then I also put down some throwbacks that just made the top 100 because I feel like mentioning these titles will bring back some early 2010s nostalgia.
So what if you save the number one for last, and then when we get to the number one, David and I try and guess what it is based on.
Yeah, I like that. I'll start.
What does this look like to you? A
10.
game show?
This looks like a contest that I'm going to win.
How the
Yeah,
tables
okay.
have turned.
All
I
right,
will
buddy.
start on number 10
how the
then, and then we
turntables.
will work our way up.
Okay.
So at 10 for the song of the decade is "Rolling
Go.
in the Deep" by Adele.
All right.
Really?
Solid song.
Which I'm cool with that. And I remember when that was super
Straight
popular.
pop.
Everyone was singing
Well, I
it.
feel like somebody that you used to know is going to be on this list. Because that song played on the radio for like 4 straight years.
We'll get there.
Chill.
So
Calm
coming in
down.
at number 9, Despacito.
Nah, no
Yeah.
way.
No. Number
It's
9
not too high on
For the
the
whole
list.
decade.
For the whole decade,
Crazy.
Despacito. Oy.
It did get wildly popular, but I was never a huge fan of
That was
the
never a
song.
huge song.
Song
That
of
was
the
kind of a
day.
medium song.
Okay, so number 8, Somebody That I Used to Know.
That song never came off the
Joe.
radio. And I did not care for it. And every time I turned, I felt like for like 4 years, it was always on the radio.
Dude, good
I'm
call.
like, when
Was-
are they going to give up on this song?
I didn't love that song either.
I
thought
didn't
it was
even.
alright.
I forgot about it, and then when I read this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's that one."
You know, some song that you used to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually. Okay, right above that. Are we on 7? Yeah, we're on
Is
7.
it Call Me Maybe? I hope Call Me Maybe's on
No,
this
this one I don't.
Oh,
think
yeah,
it's
that was
gonna
like
make your ears very
2012.
happy, but
Uh-oh.
Old Town Road.
No.
7
Only 7?
for the decade.
That
For the
should have
decade.
been
the decade
one.
though.
That
We're
song
talking
came
about
out
from
last year.
2010 all the way
Yeah.
up to 2020.
Well, you know, that's the height of music.
Is
Oh,
it?
God.
Yeah.
Although I will say, as a side note, it did
Vanity.
win Apple Music's song of the
Decade?
year. I think.
Oh, of the year. Okay, good.
Yeah, the year,
That
not
makes
the
way more
decade.
sense.
If
no.
Apple Music...
the year.
There's no way it should ever win of the year or of the decade when it's only been out for 1 year. There's no feasible way
Yeah.
it gets.
Well, you have
I-
to compare it equally. If it's of this decade, it won't be in contention for next decade, so...
Right, I guess.
But if it won Song of the Decade on Apple Music, I would have to unsubscribe from Apple Music.
That's no,
I
I
subscribe to Google Music.
Nerd.
what. But I will say, Old Town Road, like it really reached out to a very wide audience.
It's true. That is very
Because
true. A lot of demographics.
It was real popular over the summer, and I'm a camp counselor. I work with a lot of kids, and these kids were ages 6 to like 11, 12.
The perfect age range.
They
for
were
that song.
obsessed. But then everyone in high school knew it. My sister, who was in college at the time, like she knew it. Like it was wildly popular over like a wide variety of listeners. But I thought it was a joke the first time I listened to it.
I
know
think
what?
there's something kind of meta about it in the fact that he knew it would be kind of a meme song. So he knew little kids would love it. He knew high schoolers and above would and college students would make fun of it.
Yeah.
But
Either
it was
way,
like
it gets
kind
popular.
of good when it first came out. Like it was a meme, but like I don't
it's
think
so-
anyone
it's a
can
good
deny
beat.
it. It's a
It
good
was
beat.
refreshing
It's
to
overdone
hear Billy
now.
Ray Cyrus come back in the game. But
Game
But
changer.
2 things. One, I worked at a pool this summer.
Disgusting.
And
Mm.
we once had a rental with the kids that were like 11 or 12, and they pulled out a speaker, and the first 3 songs that came on the speaker, I remember this distinctly because it like threw me for a loop, and these kids were vibing so hard. The very first song that came on was Old Town Road, and then the second song was Bad Guy by Billie Eilish, and then the third song was that remix of the Baby Shark song.
Oh gosh.
And these kids were losing their minds.
I'm sure. I'm
Why
sure.
do people like Baby Shark?
I don't know. It's annoying.
And I don't even
I'm
remember
not
what
a
I
fan.
thought.
Aaron,
the
you're a psych
second thing
major.
about that
Tell
song
us.
was gonna be.
What the?
That'll
what
have
the
to be
heck?
like my senior research project.
Why did people
Why
like
does
Baby Shark?
mankind like Baby Shark? I do
Yeah,
not
no,
know.
that's all I have to say about Old Town Road.
But anywho, I'll move on to number 6, I believe. We're
6? Yeah.
at, which is "We Found Love" by Rihanna. And frankly, I can't even think of the melody of this song.
We found love in a hopeless place.
Oh, okay, that one.
that's
I
what
love
it's
you
on
guys in unison just chime right in. Yeah, okay, then yeah, okay.
That was 2010s?
2010s, but it was early. It was like 2011 or
Yeah.
something like that. It
Wow.
was
That's
it was
been
very
out
early.
for a while.
Right above that is "Girls Like You" by Maroon 5. which surprised me.
Really?
It was the one with Cardi,
That's the Maroon
Cardi
5
B
song?
remix.
That's the Maroon 5 song?
that we...
For the
there are
decade.
so many better Maroon...
Just really surprising.
I'm glad David and I had the same reaction to that.
Yeah,
of all the
right?
Maroon 5 songs that could have been like the best of the decade, that one really?
I
It
feel
really
like
doesn't-
the
I
best
never liked
album they
that
had
one.
is Songs About Jane, in my opinion. It's just the album I like the most. But even like, I liked Sugar. I liked...
yeah, that was good.
I don't know. I think this might have been pre-2010, but Payphone is probably my
No,
favorite.
Payphone's 2010. That
Yeah,
one's really
what?
good.
Payphone's definitely my favorite
It's
Maroon
surprising.
5 song.
Yeah.
I wonder if this list is somewhat altered by like the amount of streaming that like now there's so much more streaming
Yeah.
like as it's gotten into like 2018, 2019, 2020. You still had to buy songs
That is
in
true.
2010.
I
so I
had
feel like this
Payphone downloaded
probably
on
could
an
have
iPod
affected
when
the
I was a kid.
list.
And Cardi B, some people listen to it probably just for Cardi B. Even though Cardi B doesn't even have that good of, like, that's not the best song it's not even one of her good features. Whatever.
Yeah.
I just realized,
frustrated.
I just realized I know what song I want to be number one, but I hope it's at least in the top 5 or
Name
it's
it.
gonna be somewhere on the list.
Name it.
Crap. I'm blanking right now. The song
Watch
by,
your profanity.
Uh,
Hey,
the one-
Panini.
oh,
Why are you such a meanie?
what's
I don't
the
know.
name of the song that starts off like, I just took a DNA test.
Test turns out I'm 100. That's
100%.
Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of crap, what's the name of the song?
Truth Hurts.
Truth Hurts. I think Truth Hurts should be somewhere on that list. It's definitely not.
It's
is it?
not.
What?
Though Lizzo, she's racking up awards. She has a ton of Grammy nominations. She'll do just fine.
Why men great till they gotta be great?
Anywho, Above Girls Like You is Closer by the Chainsmokers.
No. That's boring white people radio filler music.
You're white. Stop it.
But yeah, it is filler music. I feel like that's just always on the radio. You turn on Kiss FM, it's just like always on.
Yeah, but it's always the song I turn off. Like,
Yeah.
if I hear that song come on the radio, I switch stations.
That's one of those songs that like you can go online and there's some person that's like, here's how to write a Chainsmokers song. Like you hit these 3 chords over and over again because why not? And then you just like smoke a bunch of cigarettes and then talk about weird problems that aren't problems.
Yeah, only problems for
And
like
then for your bridge,
them and their
for
friends.
your bridge, you use the exact same chords. You just speed it up a little bit, so it goes from like dun.
Joe, are you
dun,
not a fan of
dun,
Chainsmokers?
And then it goes dun 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 dun, and it's the same chords. They just speed it up a little bit, and that's the bridge.
Yeah.
Interesting that these have all been pop songs.
Yeah.
No, like, well, I know pop, like popular music, but like, I guess technically Old Town Road was a little bit of country, but it was really pop. Yeah. But like, no, I guess there wasn't.
Well, and usually the top 100 implies like top pop
Yeah.
songs. Usually, like it's.
Never mind, it's
Yeah.
not that shocking.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 2, when I saw this.
Wait, we're already at number 2?
Oh no, I skipped one. I
Oh,
skipped
okay.
one. Sorry. Number 3. Shape of You, Ed Sheeran.
All right, that's a good song.
Yeah, I guess Ed Sheeran
I
had to
respect
be
him
on
as a
this list.
songwriter, and that was on the radio
I
a
think
lot.
my favorite Ed Sheeran song might be Castle on the Hill, but I've also
Yeah.
heard Castle on the Hill on
Or
the radio. All
Galway
the time as well.
Girl.
Galway
Oh,
Girl
such
is
a
a
good
That's a
bomb.
great song. Yeah.
I'm not excited by that choice, but I'm not disappointed by it.
I'm just
either.
glad Ed Sheeran's on the list. That's
Yeah.
probably not.
He was a pretty big part of
He's
the mid 2010s.
actually one of the top
I would've
artists of the
I
decade
would
as
have
well.
at least put Photograph ahead of Shape of You.
Yeah, but Shape of You is more of like a jam, you know?
I guess.
Look at this photograph.
Look at
Every
this
time.
graph.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2?
This is the one that I saw and I was like, I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Okay.
Party Rock Anthem
Oh yeah.
by LMFAO.
I would only be made happier if Sexy and I Know It was on.
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah. But Party Rock Anthem,
Rock.
I'm not mad about it. I saw that. I was like, yep, that sums up the 2010s. Like, yeah,
And the music
high five with that.
video for Sexy and I Know It, just like the. I'm sexy and I know it.
Well, Joe, do you remember? Joe sends me a lot of memes over Instagram. He follows a lot of meme pages, and there was one where the BPM of Party Rock Anthem matches up perfectly with Uptown Girl. So they played Uptown Girl over the video of Party Rock Anthem where they're dancing. It's quality video. Look it up.
Watch that. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so we have made our way to number 1.
Number 1.
No idea
So
what
take-
I think number 1 is.
Take your guesses.
Shoot.
I feel like when I tell you guys, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Is it a Beyonce song?
No.
Beyonce's not been on the list.
It's a male artist.
Okay. Right.
And not a band. A male
Not a
artist.
band. Male artist. I mean, with a band, but
Shawn Mendes hasn't been on the list. It could be Shawn Mendes.
Okay.
potentially. Think of other like huge name male artists, like big songs, blew up. Everybody
thinking-
knew
Well,
'em.
Justin Bieber's already been on the list.
Well, I'm leaning towards Drake or Kanye.
You guys are forgetting someone pretty major.
I feel like I'm gonna be happy that I'm
Eminem?
forgetting this person.
No? When I tell you, you're gonna be like, oh, right.
So it's not
Do you want me to tell you the artist?
No, give us a
No,
little bit more
It's
time.
Okay,
Shawn
okay.
Mendes.
Charlie Puth. No, he was
Charlie
big, but not
Puth,
the biggest.
nah.
This is like real
Yeah,
big, and
real big.
he's been around for quite a few years.
Jay-Z?
Dropped a big album. Couple years.
I think
Couple
the
years
problem
ago,
is
2,
I
3
don't
years ago?
care about this style of
I do
music,
care,
so,
though. I should
like,
know.
Like, you say like big person, I'm probably gonna get upset. Bigger than Ed Sheeran? That's annoying.
I'm just thinking. Bruno Mars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
No,
See?
wait. Okay,
See?
so then
Yeah.
this song is definitely what 24 Karat Matt. No,
No.
it's Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk.
Yes!
You
It's
got
Uptown
it.
Funk.
Yeah, Uptown Funk
I'm actually happy
is
with
the
that.
song of the decade. Which
That's okay.
Good.
I'm cool with
Good.
it. That song like
I am glad.
swept the nation, and it's a good song.
It
It's
is a pretty good
fun,
song.
You can
At
dance
dance
to it.
class,
Yeah.
At dance class, Uptown Funk.
Oh my
Everyone
gosh.
loved the song.
That song came out when we were in middle school.
Yep.
Yeah, and it definitely
Ugh.
it reached a wide audience. Like
Whoa.
yeah,
Uptown Funk.
it's
Oh.
good stuff.
That's wild.
We lost our man. Like,
Dude,
the-
we're so old.
The line
Yeah.
Uptown
I'm so old as a freshman
Funk
in
You
college.
is
Uptown
just
Funk You Up.
amazing. There
Yeah.
are some great lines in that.
Oh, it's
in
great.
that
The whole
song.
album actually is great. It's very like
Yeah.
kind of old school in a way.
I like Mark Ronson a lot too, the guy
Yeah.
who did the DJing for it,
Yeah.
the music for it.
So yeah, that is the
Uptown
top
Funk.
10, and then I just thought that, I mean, if you want me to continue,
Please. This is fun.
I took
It's a
just-
dandy old
I
time.
put some names down, and I should have put the number that they were on the list, but I just like saw some throwback songs, and I was like, I need to mention these because when I saw them, I was just like, oh man, throwback. Call Me Maybe made the list, top 100.
Love Call Me Maybe.
All About That Bass.
Oh,
That was
No.
big. It
That
got
was
really
big.
big.
that was big.
No.
And the music
Joe, it was
video
big.
blew up. Yeah.
Doesn't mean I like it.
Megan
don't
Trainor,
have
the
to
2 to
like it.
3 hit wonder.
Yeah.
Megan Trainor was an
True, though.
infuriating person for me in middle school because she comes out with this
Why?
song.
Because she
that's
sang about women power, Joe? Are you not a
because
feminist?
She came out with a song
What the
about
heck,
women
Joe?
power when there were multiple tabloid interviews of her years before that song came out saying like super offensive, insensitive things about. She'd be like, yeah, I totally tried anorexia one time, but like after 3 hours of crunching on ice and eating celery, I just couldn't do it anymore. So I went back to eating food.
Ooh.
And you're
Uh-oh.
like, this is the person that's now our like body image like goddess. I'm glad she's kind of.
I
gone
think
to
Lizzo has
obscurity
moved
now.
to that
Yeah,
place now.
Lizzo can have it.
Which, like, go off, sis.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. Go off, sis. Owen just sent me a video that says, "This is America, so call me maybe." It's a combination of Donald Glover's "This is America" with Carly Rae Jepsen's "Call Me Maybe."
That just seems like the worst juxtaposition that could ever happen.
What else is on that list? Oh, Erin Lee.
Oh, well, I will tell you.
Well, thank you.
Royals by Lorde
Oh, yeah?
made it on. That one was big. Like, when I heard these, I was like, yes, like, that was a big thing for
It's a
a
quality
while.
song.
Yeah.
Lorde is like the warm-up taste before you get to Billie Eilish. Like,
Yep.
I feel like she's like pop music, then Lorde, and then you get to Billie Eilish, who's like reinventing pop.
Lord was
Yeah,
like,
true.
we're poor, and then Billie Eilish was like, we depressed though.
But we also depressed. Well, in contrast to that, Happy by Pharrell Williams. Man, now I think everyone just hates that song because they played it way too much.
Wasn't it in Despicable Me,
It
too?
was in Despicable Me too.
Yeah. It was good at first, but now I just think everyone is just over
Yeah.
it.
And then you're like, yeah, it's a little cheesy, but it's fun. But then once you hear it too much, you're just like, no,
Yeah.
it's only cheesy.
Yeah. TikTok by Kesha.
Wait,
That was 2010.
so I was jokingly going to say TikTok when you were saying what was the number one song.
It made the
Because
top
I thought
100.
that was like 2005.
No, it was either like I think it was like 2011, like it
What?
was,
Really?
or maybe
maybe it was just streamed a
I'm
lot
gonna have to
in
look
this.
because maybe it came out before then, but then
I
it
feel like
was.
TikTok was on my
Look
first
it up. Fact check me.
iPod.
This always happens. I always play our live stream right
God
when.
damn
Oh no, TikTok! All I got was
Not
the
the
app.
app.
I got the app.
Conspiracy
No.
theory. Kesha invented
The
TikTok app.
2009. It was released in 2009. So it
Okay,
must have
so
just been
released in
streamed a lot.
2009. Songs don't blow up until a few months after they're
Yeah.
released, unless it's like Ariana Grande.
That's fair. That's fair.
So
Weird that
Unless
there's
it's
no
Ariana
Ariana Grande on the list.
Oh yeah,
at the
she
time.
did
well,
not make any
Ariana
top 10.
Grande did not. Well, she made top 100 with at least a few songs, but she is #1 artist of the decade.
What?
That doesn't surprise me.
At least for pop. No, for at least okay. So on Spotify, she was #1 female artist of the decade. I'm pretty sure Drake beat her out for #1.
She had a
artist of the
big.
decade.
She
was in like the top 5, I would say though.
especially the end of the decade. Like if recency bias is a part of it, like she's big towards the end of the decade. Ed Sheeran was kind of defined
Well, Ed
mid
Sheeran
2010s.
just kind of was like floating along throughout the whole decade, like dropping some really good songwriting
Yeah.
and like,
Ed Sheeran's
but he
just a
never,
dude.
he never was like in the, just like the height of publicity. But you know, we were always just like, oh yeah, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran's there.
Yeah, like he's good. But let me get back to this list.
Please.
Oh, We Are Young and Some Nights by Fun.
Love
Yes.
Fun.
And Fun, like they're not even a band anymore, right?
I don't think so.
Which
But
is
if you ever
crazy,
need an
'cause
awesome
they were big.
fun playlist, I was super obsessed with them
A
in middle
fun
school, so I've
playlist.
listened to all of their
Fun
songs.
thing.
And I
Super
compiled a
fun.
playlist of all the best music. Like there are a couple fun songs that never played on the like the ones you always hear on the radio are "We Are Young," "Some Nights," and "Carry On" played on the radio for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nate Roos did that number with Pink. So
Right.
come on, if you feel that way. No, wait, wrong one.
No,
wrong
Just
one.
Give Me a
The
Reason.
Just
Yeah.
give me a reason. That one. I was thinking of a different song. But then, like, that's pretty much it. And they have a lot of really good music. Why Am I the One is probably my favorite song by Fun. Second would be Carry
Ooh.
On. That you hear that on the radio a
Why
lot.
am I-
Not so much anymore, but I saw those and I was like, oh yeah, everyone was listening to those.
Love Fun.
Radioactive. That was huge.
Imagine Dragons.
Middle school, like that, like beat drop, like wrecked me in middle school. I was like, this is the coolest song ever.
Not surprising. Mike Bindeman and I wrote a parody of Radioactive in middle school.
Oh,
about,
nice.
You would.
The loss of religion.
Oh,
Oh.
fitting.
It was like super atheist. It was kind of like gross.
The,
I'm glad it
Gross.
doesn't exist anymore.
the
I just remember-
views expressed by individuals on PizzaFM are not necessarily them.
I remember in middle school that in gym class they would sometimes like play songs on the radio. And I remember like Radioactive would come on and like my middle school self would be like going hard, like scoring all the goals. Like I just went,
Scoring all the goals.
All right, now I gotta interject here on this one. As somebody who was in middle school gym with Erin Lee,
Oh, God.
she once spent an entire period filling her hair with dandelions
Dandelions.
instead of playing kickball. And then when she went to walk back in the building, the gym teacher stopped her and made her
me
remove
take
every single
every flower
dandelion
out.
from her hair. So naturally, I snuck a dandelion inside, and then for class the rest of the day, I had a dandelion in my hair.
And it's so funny because I recall that memory just as clearly as you do. It was so sad.
It was a defining moment.
I braided the dandelions into my hair. It took a long time.
That takes
I'd
some
like to
effort
say,
that
I
could have
don't
been
think-
spent on kickball.
I don't think we
What was
won
it?
that kickball game.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh no.
Go cry about it, Joe. But yeah, I remember especially like I just remember playing floor hockey and like Radioactive would come on and I would just be in like beast mode. I would be just like swinging my little I don't even know what it's called.
in badminton?
No, the hockey.
Oh,
hockey stick.
a hockey stick.
We played floor hockey and it
Oh,
got
gosh.
intense. We should not have been allowed to play floor hockey.
We played dodgeball.
Because I got smacked in the face with a hockey stick.
Owie.
Yeah, it was not pretty. I was
Ooh.
bleeding, and
Ew.
I went up to the gym teacher, and her reaction, she just went, "Oh God."
Because there are some guys in middle school that think, oh, I'm going to hit a slap shot.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No,
You're going to hit
not.
me in the face is what you're going to do, Ethan Shale.
Uh-oh. I remember at my middle school, I went to a different middle school than these two. We had a section every year of rollerblading. Like, for a week we would rollerblade. and one person every year rolled their ankles.
Now, Joe and I just made eye contact because I know we're thinking
we
the
had
exact
it
same
one
thing.
time in 6th grade.
And then they redid the floors in the gym.
And then for the rest of time, they're like, you're not ruining our floors.
Beautiful floors.
Oh, because they were like scratched up from the blades?
When we were in 6th grade, we had this terrible gym at Bryan. The bleachers were so rickety, they looked like you could like tip them over
and
with
the
one
wax,
finger.
like the shellac they put on the wood was like peeling.
And then going into our 7th grade year, they replaced the entire gym with brand new bleachers, and they redid the floor, and they put the new logo on it, and we never did rollerblading again.
Honestly, sad. Just sad.
Well, I hate to say this, guys, but we're almost out of time. We have 5 minutes till 7. So
flies.
let's just try to really quickly rush in the segment that is going to be a weekly segment, which is, of course, everyone's favorite show, Name Your Price. If you haven't listened to this show before, Name Your Price is where we come up with these wild scenarios. And the deal is you have to go through this scenario. If you went through the scenario, how much money would it take to be paid to you in full for you to tolerate the scenario? And whoever has the lowest price gets that money in imaginary money, and there's no stakes, but whatever. Okay. Since Erin's the guest, it would make sense to let her go first, but I'm not going to let her because I'm a mean person and I'm going to go first.
That's
all right.
Fine. We hate you. Continue.
I'm leaving.
Also, Stray Hen is better than Egg Harbor.
Hey.
We don't have time to get into this.
No, you know what? That's not funny.
That one hurts because it's true, isn't
it? Hey. There are some lines we don't cross here, Joe.
Yeah, whose line is it anyway?
I'm currently wearing an Egg Harbor shirt where I work, and I love to work, and we're better than Stray Hen, which is another restaurant in Elmhurst that's totally trying to take our customers. They like just opened. They're like, ooh, we're all modern. We don't put lemons in our water. We throw watermelon in our waters. Why would you throw watermelon into your water? It's just water and sugar.
Better.
No, it's
what
not.
What do you think a lemon is?
Sour.
Sour
water
and water.
Sugar.
With sour.
The sour is citric acid. That's
Yes.
a type of sugar.
Yeah, it's a sugar, but it doesn't just taste sweet. It adds flavor to the water. Okay, whatever. We're not getting into this. All right, my scenario is, how much money would it take for you to live? You know, you've got a perfectly normal life for the rest of your life. You know, everything looks the same about you. You know, you talk the same. Everything's fine. But every single time you blink, 2 things in the place you're at switch places randomly. Two things.
Would this ever cause like physical harm?
Oh, it could.
To anyone?
I'm thinking a little bit Looney Tunes, where like you replace like the ceiling tile with like an anvil, and then it just falls on your head.
Oh, okay. Wait. So
It
you're
won't.
saying it could switch with a random thing. And
It won't.
Not just...
It won't end in anyone's
God
death.
damn it.
Like the floor underneath you won't
All right,
switch
all
with
right.
like a knife.
All right. I have to interject with my chemist dad, who apparently is listening to the show and just pointed out to me that citric acid is not a sugar.
Yeah, I was about to say I wasn't going to argue with you because you're in a chemistry class, but why would acid be a sugar?
I
Dummy.
thought it was a type of sugar. My dad used to give me lists of things off of cartons that were actually sugar, and they were trying to hide it, and I thought citric acid was one of those things.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. All right.
Screw you.
Yes,
So
thank you.
this area, it could be cool. Like it could be a cool party trick. Like if you have a bowl of chips in your hand and you want to change the station, you're just like, guys, look, and then you blink, and then all of a sudden the remote's in your hand. But you also could blink, and like the couch could be switched with your friend, and then all of a sudden you're just sitting on your friend.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
That'd be fun.
I'm going to go with $5.
So random. $5. That's all it would take.
That sounds fun.
Joe, think about how much you blink in a day.
Things would be moving constantly.
And it may be minor, but it could be, if you're outside,
Could be major.
if you're outside, you could switch a tree with a building. Like there could just be a pine tree in the middle of Chicago. And then all of a sudden
Fine,
you've like
$3.
you're the guy
You're
who's
a hard sell. You're a hard sell, but I go down to $3.
all right.
I don't think that was the point.
Joe's taking it for $3. Aaron, how much money would it take for you?
Honestly, like, I'm thinking in the millions. I like things the way they are. I don't want them
Greedy,
shifting
greedy.
around. Oh, please. I don't know. Let's just go like 6 million.
Okay.
Dollars.
That is about where I would take it for.
Yeah.
I can't believe Joe is in the single digits. But all right.
You win.
Joe gets it for $3.
Oh,
Watch out when
bullshit
Joe blinks.
technicality. My dad's pointing out that citric acid is made by fermenting fruit sugars. But it is
it's still an acid.
Itself not a sugar.
It's still an acid. When you ferment something, that's a chemical change. Isn't it? All right, we don't have time to get into the argument of this. Erin Lee, what's your scenario, if you have one?
Okay. Well, mine is, how much would you have to be paid?
Yes. That is.
Put
my dad agrees
just
with you, David.
Steaming hot oatmeal in your shoes right now and not take off your shoes for the next 24 hours.
Could I pay to let that happen? Steaming,
no. And it's not flavored oatmeal. It's just plain.
Would that make a difference? I don't think my feet would be like, cinnamon sugar.
My dad bids $5 to have oatmeal in his shoes.
And not take them off for 24 hours. You have to sleep in them, walk in them.
Do I have to wear my shoes into bed?
Yeah.
Yes. What am I, raised in a barn?
Well, my dad has some pretty heavy-duty boots, so I imagine the oatmeal would be very contained. Like if I
It's not about your dad, Joe. It's about you.
Well, if I poured them into my tennis shoes, it would go all over the place.
That would be a mess.
Like I would get it all over my bed.
Oh, boy.
It would get all over.
Or
don't sleep in your bed then.
Flip-flops or Crocs or something.
If you're wearing flip-flops, that wouldn't be much of an issue for too long.
I would go as low as like $10,000.
Now I have a question. Is this magical oatmeal that stays steaming hot throughout the whole day?
No, it gets like cold.
Oh, it gets like lukewarm.
Like it shifts temperatures. You get to experience every temperature with that.
And so at some point it's like frozen, and your feet are just in a solid block of oatmeal.
Yeah. Let's say that. I'm adding that.
I'd go as low as 10,000.
10,000.
I mean, it's only 24 hours.
Yeah, I would do it for 500. I would do it for 500. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. It's just 24 hours. I've done worse things.
Like, I'd get used to it. But frozen feet.
Frozen feet. Let it go.
Not exactly. I would say like.
Listen, all I'm saying is, if you had frozen feet, think of all the cool things you could do. You could just slide into a room and be like, "What's up?" You could ice skate constantly.
Although I feel like the consistency of frozen oatmeal is going to be different than the consistency of like
it might
ice.
Scratch you. It'd probably hurt.
Yeah.
500.
700.
Joe, what's your scenario?
Mine is weirdly similar to yours, David, but it follows with the musical theme that we've been having today.
Yuck.
Which is that I would propose.
Yes.
How much money would I have to pay you?
'Tis the name of the game.
Every time somebody plays music or you listen to music, the song that you hear is never the song that is actually playing. It is always a different and completely random song.
So
the rest
just
of
like
your
every time you listen to music, it's going to be a random.
Somebody else plays a song. I turn on some Old Town Road, you hear some Bulgarian folklore. I turn on Eminem and you hear an old show tune. It is completely random. You can never control it, so it's not like it's
you
the
would
same
rarely
song.
recognize the song.
For the rest of your life.
Wow.
The rest of your life, you will never be able to control what music you're listening to. You're basically on permanent shuffle.
I mean, in a way, it'd be a great way to like discover new music. But then if you find something you like, you can never listen to it again.
You would never be able to consistently listen to it again.
You couldn't look it up.
You would just have to appreciate the shuffle of life.
You would be so out of... you wouldn't be able to go to any dances or any clubs because everyone would be like... And you just have to watch at what pace they're bopping at while you're listening to like...
I think the more you think about this, it would actually be like really sucky.
Question. What about live music?
Live music's exactly the same.
Ooh.
So if you go watch a concert, it would be fine?
Well, no, if you go watch a concert, I mean, it's the same as like every time they play a song. You're hearing a completely different song.
A huge importance then. What about like when Erin or someone else is in their acapella group and they're singing live? Is what they're hearing from the rest of their group something random?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh. Anything musical.
I'd take a lot of money. That would take so much money.
I really wouldn't want that at all.
Especially for somebody that cares about music.
Yeah, honestly.
10 million.
The argument I would make for it is they're two-pronged. One, if you don't care about music, it's not going to affect you that much. But my other side to it
if you have no heart.
Is that it does give you a rare opportunity to experience music in a way completely different to everyone else. But it takes away your ability to consistently listen to the stuff you want to listen to. You can no longer actively choose to listen to a certain kind of music. You just have to allow whatever plays to play.
I just imagine myself getting stuck with Baby Shark 5 times in a row.
Or
Yeah.
like
what are the
heavy
odds of
metal.
that?
By sheer random chance, you just get the same terrible song like 6 times. Like, I don't know.
You're just like, all right, well, I'll just listen to a different
What's
song.
New Pussycat? You get What's New Pussycat 7 times in a row, and then all of a sudden, It's Not Unusual starts playing, and you think, thank God, it's over. And then afterwards, What's New Pussycat plays again and again, and then finally, you just have to stop listening to music.
Or what if my mom comes up to me like, look at this great song I found. It's just like, up the police. I'm like, Mom.
No. But imagine this. Since I did say that anybody singing automatically gets changed, imagine one of your friends is sitting next to you and they start humming to themselves and you hear like Bulgarian rap.
What if you yourself
hear,
are
like-
singing?
That's it.
Or you hear like the Soviet Union's national anthem. And you're just like,
Yeah,
Music to my
your friend
ears.
starts humming to themselves and they hear
So
the
what about
Soviet-
if
What
you're
about you
singing?
yourself? I guess I would have to say yes as well if you're singing
Okay.
it gets switched.
Honestly, my price would be so high.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like, all right, I'm going to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. And instead you just like sing Italian.
But here's the fun thing. Everybody else hears what you're trying to sing.
You'd
but
be
you
so
hear
out of
something
tune.
different.
Yeah, that'd just be difficult.
Yeah.
I would say like $50 billion.
I mean,
50 billion.
I don't even know. I just wouldn't do it.
This is-
I don't want
think
this,
I
so
would
I'll
ever
say
do it.
50 billion and $1 so I don't have to have
Yeah,
this one.
this is my own terrible creation, and there's no way I would ever do it. I'm gonna go with
Yeah, I just would never.
same thing I've done on previous segments where infinite money because
Yeah, I would change my answer to
I
infinite.
am not.
It's
Money,
basically just
money
choosing
does
not to
not
listen to
mean
music.
that much to me. that
Yeah,
I
I'd
would
rather have
submit
music than
myself
Well,
money.
at a point, especially too, when it's up in the billions and stuff, it's like
I just
that's
sounded
so
like
much.
like a Disney Channel original movie. I just said, music means more than money to me. Camp Rock 3.
Music is everything.
All right. Well, that's been our time, folks. Thank you so much for joining us, Erin.
Thank you so much for having me. It was
Yeah.
a blast.
A great time having you here. Tune in next week for whoever else we decide to bring on. It's not really all that organized. I'm not going to lie. We'll just bring someone on. All right. Thank you for listening. This has been Breakdown with Hansen and Brown. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.